The sound wasn't great on the first video. I've turned the sound up a bit, so hopefully it's easier to hear what I'm saying. I have a right to express myself, freedom of expression. I also have a right to privacy, vis-a-vis not being spied on, surveilled, or a target of hacking for no good reason. Please, whoever has tampered with my phone, my previous computers, possibly this computer as well, remove whatever spyware or hacking software that you have in my network, my computer systems, or my phone. Now, I have a little bit left to do of this Rich versus Butowski Schoenberger deposition, and then we'll get to settlements because there was a whole load of court cases about this stuff. So we'll continue. We're on page 112 of Rich versus Butowski, Thomas Schoenberger deposition. Line 21, page 112. How did that conversation end? In terms of Mr. Butowski was requesting that you would outfit a spy van and surveil the Rich family. What was the result of that conversation? Answer, Thomas Schoenberger, line 25. He ignores me mostly for the rest of the day. Page 113. And then, finally, he looks over at me and he says, you can't stomach this. Dudley, as in Dudley Do-Right. And he says, Manny and I will go handle it. Line 5. Question. Do you know whether this operation that you're describing ended up taking place? Answer. I have heard from Stuart Blogrund. Reporter clarification. The witness. Blogrund, B-L-A-U, as in the German for blue, and then Grund, G-R-U-N-D. I heard from Stuart Blogrund that Matt Couch was in Omaha. I didn't have any personal knowledge of that, but he told me that. I want to tell you another small thing that happened in that room. After Ed basically shooed me away, Matt Couch looked over at Defango and said, you are really good. You just hacked my computer. So right there, when they were standing next to us, line 22, sorry, got a piece of plastic. Right when they were next to each other, Matt declared to everybody, wow, Manny, you've got chops. You just hacked my computer. And Ed looked around, page 114, and Ed looked around and said, you're who I want, and pointed a finger at Manny. Now we'll go to a CNN article. A businessman and a fringe internet activist who each played key roles in the conspiracy theory about Seth Rich, the slain Democratic National Committee staffer whose death was used by right-wing activists as a vehicle to help exonerate Russia from its 2016 election meddling, retracted and apologised for their statements this week. Quote, I take full responsibility for my comments and I apologise for any pain I have caused. Close quote, the businessman Ed Butowski said in a statement retracting his previous comments. Quote, I sincerely hope the Rich family is able to find out who murdered their son and bring this tragic chapter in their lives to a close. Close quote. Quote, today we retract and disavow our statements and we offer our apology to Mr. Rich and his family, close quote, said the fringe internet activist Matt Couch in a separate video posted online. Quote, I take full responsibility for my actions, and would like to apologise to Mr. Rich and his family, close quote. The retractions come as part of a settlement Aaron Rich, Seth Rich's brother, reached with Butowski and Couch over a lawsuit he filed against them in March 2018. The terms of the settlement were not disclosed. The Washington Times, a conservative news outlet, was also sued, also retracted its claims and settled with Aaron Rich in October 2018. In a statement, Aaron Rich said he was gratified at the fact the two have, quote, taken responsibility for the statements they have made. In the more than 4 years since we lost Seth, the accusations made against our family have only served to prolong our grief without bringing us any closer to finding Seth's murderer, close quote, Aaron Rich added. Quote, although we will never be at peace until we obtain justice for Seth's murder, I hope that these events may encourage others to pause and consider the impact of accusing strangers of wrongdoing. Give law enforcement space to do their jobs, and let us remember Seth in peace and with privacy. Close quote. In November of last year, Fox News settled a separate lawsuit with the parents of Seth Rich, who had sued the network for developing what the suit called a sham story about their son's death that caused them, quote, mental anguish and emotional stress, emotional pain and suffering, and any other physical and mental injuries, close quote. Seth Rich was fatally shot in Washington, D.C. in July 2016. Police have said evidence indicates he was the victim of a botched robbery, but in the wake of his death, far-right activists and media organisations suggested something far more sinister. Without real evidence, these far-right activists peddled a conspiracy theory that posited Seth Rich leaked a trove of DNC emails to WikiLeaks and was killed in retribution for the supposed leak. The theory was convenient for some on the right as they disputed allegations Russia hacked the DNC, something President Donald Trump had disputed. But the 2019 report from former Special Counsel Robert Mueller, who investigated Russia's role meddling in the 2016 election, discredited the entire conspiracy theory. That report noted that WikiLeaks was communicating with the Russian military intelligence officers about the stolen DNC documents before and after Rich's death. And there's an editor's note. A lawyer for Ed Butowski contacted CNN after publication of this article to state that Butowski, quote, retracted only a few limited statements about Aaron Rich, close quote, the brother of Seth Rich. The lawyer told CNN that Butowski has not retracted or apologised for, quote, everything he ever said about Seth Rich, close quote. By Oliver Darcy, CNN Business, January 14th, 2021. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I have a right to freedom of expression, to have an opinion, to voice my opinion, as and when I feel like voicing an opinion. I have a right to privacy, and I have an expectation not to be hacked, targeted, surveilled, and all of these type of things. So I'm going to ask politely for a second and final time that whoever has put hacking software, spyware to surveil me and my family and destroy my right to privacy, quit it now. Remove your spyware and let me have my life back. This has went on continually for years.